Okay, so we have JohnStuckey against Astavakra. Black in game 1. And it's French defense, exchange on e4, and trying to capture the d4 pawn. I should take away this opening explorer. Don't want this, don't want this. Okay, so exchange of queens. Now, this is an interesting situation. If you took the knight, then you could have ideas of knight here, queen here, and so on. But black has other ideas. With this, queen here stays safe, queen takes knight. So I'm not sure what the theoretical position is of this opening, but black has given away a queen. So it's looking not completely straightforward. Oof, but then loses a whole queen, whether it was in time pressure or not. With 15 seconds on the clock, just loses a full queen, and JohnStuckey got safe, and well, I mean, he's still looking in a precarious position, gives away a second queen, and then JohnStuckey wins, by the looks of things. Okay, so that was game 1. Very, very interesting. Okay, game 2, Astavakra is playing, for goodness sakes, he's playing the Sicilian in Crazyhouse. What is going on? And somehow getting a decent position as well. And weird idea here. So what's the idea of this check? If you take it, just takes back. It just seems a strange sack, and yet JohnStuckey refuses the sack. So we got this happening. Bishop backs off, and again refusing to take material. He could have just, yeah, I guess the problem is bishop takes after rook takes, so it's not so straightforward. And notice the white queen's completely out of the game. So this is looking very hairy indeed, and indeed JohnStuckey lost that game. And to go to game 3, we saw JohnStuckey in game 3 just had a big material edge. So it was a French defense, but notice how, okay, he's solid. White sacks a piece for a pawn. Black gives the piece back for safety, throws in a check, and wins a pawn. Black wins the pawn back immediately, but here takes, here, and sidesteps, and he could have just taken it as well. So maybe material is still actually level in this position, but black has a little bit of initiative. Hi there, Zaraza. I tried streaming from House Party, but my connection is just too weak. So white gives away the queen for a piece, and then now it's a full queen. Hang on a second. Why is... So he should have a queen in hand. Why has white also got a queen in hand? I'm just confused. Oh, it's not a queen for a piece. It's I'm just being blind. White actually wins a piece. Okay, wins a piece, but black wins it back. Okay, so I was just being blind here. Okay, so takes here, takes here. So actually, in terms of material, this game is still pretty level, but somehow this king on f7 is safer than the king on f1. So takes, and see these light squares around this white king are very weak. So I was struggling to... Okay, so we're getting... He sidesteps. Pawn here, king takes pawn. Okay, so he's just claiming he's safe, and he's going to find a mate, and he does find a mate. Okay, so that's the first 3 games, and now we go to game 4, and we can go a little bit more slowly. It's going to be e4, e5, Scotch defense, Astavakra playing very aggressively, and JohnStuckey just really okay, just casting his knight away. It does create a weakness on d6, which then black fixes, and Astavakra this went by too quickly. I'm just behind the action the whole time. Sorry, guys. Okay, so weakness on d6. Now at this point, black has actually some nice ideas attacking on g2. So although he is just hanging this pawn, which is not so good. And that's going to hurt. Yeah, he loses the queen. Okay, that's a bad idea. So there's a discovered check from d1. Blocks, queen comes on, pawn here check, and it's forced mate either way. So king goes here, this, and if this is what happened in the game. So very pretty mate there from JohnStuckey. Okay, enough of this recap. Let's get to the live action proper. Game 4. So Stuckey is 3-1 up, and again we have a French defense. To be honest, Black can be quite happy with what happened last time, so he's repeating. Takes, f6 comes, and we've had this position before. Hi there, Bug Day. Says, hi, okay, glad you're covering these matches. Yeah, I covered last night a couple of matches, which are both up on my YouTube now. But the big matches are all tomorrow, and for that, you should all go and follow Clearcast, whose link I'm just going to drop for you, because he'll be streaming practically all day on Sunday with lots of really big matches. There's Clearcast against Not Jan Lee, there's Schwanet against Zixon, and many others, but all these really top matches. There's Jan Lee himself against 64 Brock or Cabbage on Discord. Yeah, tomorrow is going to be... Yeah, he has to deal with these heavyweights. I can't understand what they're doing. Well, I can do my best sometimes, but I think he does a better job of it. So Black is a pawn up, and I was going to say he had a weakness on e6, but he's covered that weakness, but at the cost of... At what cost? He has 3 diagonal pieces on light square diagonals, all like blocked in. So, but he didn't really have enough material to say just drop here and drop here or something. I don't know. So we see Black's plan is going to be very clear. Just because all his pieces are on light squares, he's going to be trying to make headway along the light squares. But clearly he was worried about safety with takes, and knight drop on d6 because his dark squares are weak. Okay, but now we're seeing the drops on the light squares, trying to progress. So takes, this is reasonable, defends f7. But is there anything more menacing? So you see here, variants Unley, Zaraza, Morlock in the spectator views. So not that many people awake on probably Saturday morning American time, European afternoon. So we do indeed see knight at g5. Okay, no obvious follow-up because g2 is quite well defended. So no real obvious into white's position, I have to say. So this is just immediate because he's trying to give coverage of h7 with his queen. And black needs material, so he grabs a bishop, maybe contemplating securing up his position further. Although in doing so, this is weak, but it is defended. Okay, so white's going for trade, so white is basically saying, I believe I'm the one with the initiative, I believe I can attack. And to such an extent that he's not even taking back this piece, he wants to go straight in. So what's the idea? If pawn takes knight, is it... Yeah, what's the idea if we just take this knight? We can't go pawn here because it's just covered twice by the queen and the knight. So what's the concept? Rook takes knight seems, well, unnecessary because it walked into a pin and this rook is going to hurt on f8. So what am I missing? Just pawn takes knight was looking very secure. And well, this is trouble. I mean, there's no other word for it. He has to block off. Yeah, he has to protect f8. So this now coming with check. So it's going to. White doesn't have to take immediately. Hi there, Oleg. Kosher Oleg. So we're seeing JohnStuckey. So what JohnStuckey is famous for is just being very hard to mate. So this is possible, but then bishop here, and then that queen looks trapped, which is quite funny actually. So the pin makes a lot of sense. Very threatening move. Still, bishop here probably defends it fine. If you could swing the knight to defend, that would be great. It doesn't. That's more risky because there's... Yeah, that works fine, in fact. So Oleg, what do you mean by JohnStuckey? Oh no, JohnStuckey's decent. Yes. He does make. Hang on. Why not bishop here? What was wrong with that? He's not bad, as in, but he does make. He is so good. He's really quite good at defending, but it does. But also, he's too passive. Like, why didn't he just put bishop at f7 last move? Oh, I see. I missed this. Bishop at f7, queen takes f5. So, yep, he knew what he was doing. So bishop takes f7 comes now. What again? Why not bishop takes f7? But okay, he's just very good at staying safe. But I didn't see a reason why not bishop takes f7. Well, he's mated here for sure. Just absolutely goner. Just bishop at h3, for example, will just keep him from running back. Yeah, h3 was probably a bit stronger, but this is all over. I mean, knight and queen is just too much. Just going to see knight here, queen here. Wow, no mate. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, if you don't find mate, then you're in trouble. Okay, so this diagonal is covered, but you can just use a knight, I think, maybe. Oh wait, he's not finding the mates. He doesn't need to. Okay, yeah, he is finding the mates. Queen takes pawn. Sorry, queen takes pawn is coming, so that's going to be mate. Queen takes pawn. You've got to be careful. Knight at, not. Yeah, this also works. Double check. Mate. Okay, so just I don't know how he swindled that, to be honest, because here check was reasonable. Here. Has he really lost it by this point? I guess he has. And it's just a case of maybe in this position, just throwing away this, and then you have the mate. So simple move actually in this position that was missed. I think it's mate in 2 here. Mate in 3 rather. Yeah. Check and swing over. So that was the key miss from Astavakra, and so out of nowhere JohnStuckey fights back, and we're seeing this rather strange Sicilian this weakness on c7. And we saw last time JohnStuckey did not do well in this opening because he stuck his king on a3 out of the game for the rest of the game and actually lost this game the last time we saw it. So it's clearly it's not a good opening from black, but white is clearly not punishing it accurately. So how should you deal with the Sicilian? It is correct, you should hit c7 in these sorts of positions, but a queen is not a good attacker for c7, so maybe it's something a bit more patient. So this seems fine. I guess there's no need to rush. There's no need to rush. I mean, you can just back off. But okay, so this... The queen here is looking silly, that's the problem. But okay, let's get back to the live action. The queen is just literally stuck on the wrong side of the board. So, and the thing about the c7 weakness is you don't have to attack it immediately. It's always going to be there. So if you're not ready to attack it, just develop. So it was a sort of position where, yeah. I mean, this is nice, but it's bringing the queen back into the game, so perhaps it was unnecessary. He'll happily give away the queen, actually. So, okay, so it's not bringing the queen back into the game because he wasn't going for the knight. He's going for the queen this way. The queen is trapped. Or is it? He could still come here. Could still go here. Okay, so it's not so clear. Could still actually go here. Okay, but he is going to give up the queen for a knight and also for a bishop staring at f7. Okay, he didn't want the bishop staring at f7 because he was worried about d3 being weak. So that's actually maybe legitimate. But all black has was a queen, so that's the threat. Queen at e2 checkmate. So knight here would be a decent defense. The problem with this move is no time to take. Ah, that's nice. So if you take the knight, I take the rook. It's kind of annoying, actually. I don't see good moves for black here. If you just back off, you can't back off. Sorry, exactly. So you can't go here or here or here or here. So it's either come here, which just can't be right, or take. It can't be right because you just pawn drop. And whichever knight you take, the other knight is taking the rook with check. Okay. The other knight is taking the rook with check, and then you're getting like a pawn and a rook, and another pawn is checkmating you. So that is this some weird forced mate? And then if you're stepping up, then that just can't be right. So he does just take it. Or you could just take it and then run away this way. Yeah, that could be a way of surviving. Because if you run after the knight, you're just getting mated, I think. Oh yes, you would be mated by a bishop and a pawn and a rook, but maybe not by pawn. So pawn, you could maybe come here, but then bishop here check. I don't see it. Yeah, pawn here check, king takes knight. If king takes, yeah, okay. So if you go here, pawn here, and rook is mate. So you have to take the knight, but then rook here check, king here. Yes, and then yeah, but this doesn't quite work because black can block here. So I don't see. He has to take the knight here, obviously. And then I'm not seeing the mate, but oh yeah, there is a mate. Knight at g5. Oh, knight, yeah, knight g6. Okay, that's the mate. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, so maybe that was wrong. There was surely a mate there. Okay, so knight g5. The problem is the king was still running out. So I think he rook g1, knight g5, king comes out. Not so clear. Yeah, not clear at all. Oh, black doesn't... No nice blockers. You can take the knight. We can still do this knight here check kind of stuff. Knight here check, bishop here. I mean, this seems interesting, right? So with a pawn, a knight, a bishop, and a rook, there should still be something. There's also bishop here check. Oh, hang on, whoa. So if you go back, that's mate. So bishop here check forces the king out, and then knight here. Why not something like this? Bishop here check, king out, then knight here. And maybe the king's running away. But okay, so he's going for this instead, so just going for pawn g6. Well, this is creative stuff. Not sure it works. Bishop here is just going to keep running. So so what was and then the other mate? I'm trying to think. What other mates were there here? Knight here check, king here, bishop here check, king here, and then knight here check. Oh, that would have been lovely. Yeah, I like that approach. No, we don't have two knights. We only have one knight. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, that was a pretty little move there. Or the so-called magnet mate. And now queen and rook will surely mate. Well, this also works for sure. Just driving the king up the board and the knight mates. But okay, what was the more precise mate? I was struggling to find it here. So I was basically saying in this position here, I think the king has to run this way. And just to check, okay, the king can't run this way because of knight at b8, king here, and rook at d8 checkmate. Okay, so that's what I missed. And after king here, at c7, king takes knight. There's only one move that mates. And it's not like rook at g8, knight g5, or all this stuff. That doesn't really work. And what he did with knight b6, it does work eventually, but only after bishop at b8, king b6, bishop e3. He only can block with the knight is the point. So you pick up an extra knight, and then knight at c4, and it looks like the king is running away. So king c5, rook at d5, king here, rook takes d6. Well, that doesn't seem like the king is running away in this position, because you have this knight e5, king b6, and then pawn mates. But why not king c6 immediately and try to get away this way? Because then apparently pawn at d5, king here, rook at d8 is the move. Rook at d8, and there's nowhere to go. Okay, so that was the long mate, which was missed. So it did involve bishop at b8, but there was a short mate, and this is what I completely missed, which is rook takes pawn, rook takes a6, and if you block, rook at g8 is mate. So you have to take it, but by taking it, you open up this file, so rook here check and pawn here mate. Or in fact, any mate, even knight at c6 mate. But the crucial thing is the rook is covering this b6 square. Hi there, gingerbread man. And Oleg is asking for a 20 to 30 series of 1+0. Okay, so that was actually quite entertaining. So some missed mates from JohnStuckey, and then after he misses the mates, does black have anything? Not really. So the game is so 5-1, and so this is JohnStuckey again, a French defense, and he's playing slightly. This is classic JohnStuckey, by the way. This bishop at f8, bishop at e7, terrible opening for black. But if white is going to mate black, it's going to take a long time. So Gingerbread Man ZH is Gingerbread Man on on Lichess, by the way. Gingerbread Man 17, is it? Yeah, sorry, I left out the 17. Yeah. So you see, the problem with black's position is okay, so it's forcing this. The problem with black's position is how does he develop? So like these moves like bishop at f8 just set you back in terms of your development. Like when is black ever going to get his king safe, castled? And so white can just white can actually play it slow and just take out all his pieces, put them all in nice positions, take over the whole board, and basically smother. So we see here takes, 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 takes. Okay, so white is dominating this position. So I guess this will be fun for people to watch. How does JohnStuckey actually come back from something like this? I mean, there's really no coming back from this, but maybe he will. So he's threatening queen at d8. I mean, this is just completely over. Like, there's no way he's coming back from this, right? So he's covering queen at d8 mate. Indeed. Gingerbread Man says d6, f6 all week. Exactly, yeah. Like, and yet somehow the knight is covering f8, the rook is covering e8. I don't know. I see him taking that and just has he missed that this covers? Well, you obviously never want to take here because bishop here will mate you. Oh no, it won't because he's got to run away. So we're going to see that. And f7 is covered, entertainingly. So what's the move here? I think, does this work? Pawn here, check, takes, takes, takes. No, don't quite have enough control. The problem is here, okay, I guess this will have to be. So takes, takes, king here, and then we're going to have to use a knight. But we can come in with the queen anyway. So come with the queen, and then he needs a knight. So knight here, check, king here. Like this can't survive for long. Oh, and now bishop here, takes, takes. I think that was actually really smart. I mean, I'm not sure if it works, but I think it was really smart. Sort of concept of he's coming up here. What are you doing? I mean, maybe you could just do. What about just takes, takes, block, knight here, check, run? Okay. Okay, so JohnStuckey with the 3 pawns, 2 knights, bishop, easy mate, right? Where's the easy mate? So you drop a pawn here. It doesn't want to do that. White doesn't have much to block with, only rooks. Oh, you're giving me a rook? Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Yes. So the one thing I have to say about JohnStuckey is that White's 2 queens are a little bit offside, as it were. He's sort of, you can see he's safe for a few moves. I mean, this is the thing about JohnStuckey. He's always safe for a few moves. How is he doing it? I'm not quite sure. But it's kind of concerning. Ah, there's a nice move, because if king takes rook here, checkmate. That was a very nice move. Okay, we're going to see what I said. A little squirreling away. Trying to squirrel away on h7. So at g6. And rook h7 to mate. Okay. So Blunderman 1 said he had to take f7 with the other queen. Yeah, I think that probably worked. We could have a look at it if you like. I don't like this opening at all for white, but we're seeing it repeated. But so just to this position here, I'll open up Engine for a second. Black is winning. That is what? So takes. This is quite shocking. Oh yeah, black is winning. No, white has mate. So okay. So Engine is very confused about the situation. Yeah, this is very nice. You have a kind of. I thought maybe what if you just run, but then rook at c7, king b6, rook takes bishop. This is a problem. But if you do this, you have this kind of compress. So takes, and now you're coming in here as well. So this is just all over. Rook at d7. You're going to take here, king b8. Okay, so with 2 pawns, knight and a rook, it's not completely obvious, but it is all over basically. So yeah, Blunderman 1 was spot on. And then doing what he did black have something here? Yeah, with at d2, king takes, pawn takes knight. So you don't want to allow this. And if you step up, then bishop at g4, knight f3. So not exactly accurate attacking. He had all these pieces in hand, so he could have, forced rook at d3, picked up a rook. I guess queen takes d3 is safe for safety. Knight at c1 is an idea then. So then you're picking up the queen. So JohnStuckey should have had a really good attack at this point, and actually messed up by taking this knight. That was not the right move here. Just at d2, king here, bishop at g4. These sorts of ideas were very powerful, and knight at c1. Okay, so both sides making mistakes that game, and it's 5-2 to JohnStuckey. And we're seeing this very strange opening from both sides, where the white queen is completely out of play, and black. What black should do here is just put all his pieces attacking the white king, and just leave the side of the board alone. And he's doing that, and white has to take 2 moves to get back into the game, or more than 3 moves. 1, 2, 3. I don't know how he does it. So h7 takes. Okay, this looks good. He's got a bishop trap, a weird bishop trap here. So yeah, queen a3 was sort of forced, unfortunately, by going to d6, and Astavakra had found this very nice move, knight here, blocking the queen from coming back. So the queen is kind of left without squares and is having to kind of. So okay, really, I quite like this. Oh, he doesn't want the piece. He just wants bishop takes bishop, knight here, with all of these holes in the white position. And JohnStuckey is going to be so uncomfortable, because he does not like holes in his position. Okay, bishop takes bishop, knight here check, knight here check, he steps down. Okay, steps down is probably necessary here. I mean, steps here is maybe okay, but... Okay, so what's the continuation? Because pawn here, just rook will just come here, so that doesn't achieve anything. Queen here is tempting, but just bishop here would block it off. Doesn't achieve anything. Maybe something attacking this square would be interesting. Like bishop at g, yeah, not sure if that does anything. But that's a sort of interesting concept. You don't really care about this rook, so maybe you can get away with sort of bishop at g6 sort of ideas. But okay, he's going instead for this, picking up the rook. Rook g1 is sort of forced. You don't want to lose a rook, because a rook will be trouble. And it's this and just simply this, and white looks like he's getting away. So queen h4. Richard Wenman says queen h4. Well, queen h4, bishop g3, then this, then this. You mean this sort of idea? Yeah, possible. Well, so this probably bishop g3 will defend this h2. So it feels a bit slow. All of these moves. There is simply this, by the way. Simply knight h3. Like, black is safe. It's slow, but it's fine. What can you do against knight h3? You can't really defend that rook. The only thing to be worried about is if there's some crazy queen sack. I don't think there is. So what does he do in this position? Oh, it's White's move. I think he was worried about the d3 square, but the knight can go here, and the bishop here is looking a bit useless, passive. He has to watch f7. Yep, but there's not. So if still there's nothing on f7. So takes. There's no follow up. You could just drop another bishop. Okay, so now f7. Yeah, now f7 is worth thinking about, because takes f7. Also e6 would be weak. So there'd be stuff like knight at e6, picks up the queen, these sorts of ideas. So he's got takes, and at e6 is a strong idea. And black will have to probably give up that knight. I'm not. What was the miss? I'm not quite sure. Okay, this looks dangerous, because knight d6. Hang on a second. I'm sure. I was thinking. So JohnStuckey is attacking, but I don't see it. And in the meantime, rook here is not mate, but looking a bit threatening. And JohnStuckey just flags. That's terrible. So Lone Wolf was surprised by the f7 move, but I completely expected bishop takes f7. Bishop takes f7 is strong here. Yeah. So something has. So basically, going back here. My intuition was knight h3, and knight h3 is actually a bad move. Because f7 is too weak. Black actually hasn't developed properly, and I hadn't quite realized that. So knight h6 is important here, just to quickly castle. But okay, here, takes, here. Oh, I see. So queen e6 check was the powerful move here. Queen e6. And then take the rook and all these sorts of ideas. Whereas this is very natural. Knight takes rook seems correct. Here seems fine. Here, king f6. So black should be fine here. And very accurate play from black as well, because stepping back was running into knight at e6, king takes f7, knight takes queen, winning the queen, and then surely mating. So stepping up was very accurate. Takes, queen takes. So black should be doing okay. So what went wrong? Oh, nothing went wrong. White flagged. So yeah, so black was winning that whole sequence. Interesting. So the key move for white was was missing queen e6, and you thought, well, why can't we just go bishop d7? But then bishop takes rook, apparently, and the queen can't go here, and the threat is obviously pawn at d7 and rook at e8, and so why not just castle? But then the problem is queen takes knight. Okay, I just didn't see this geometry, the geometry of the position. So yeah, and now of course white would have been completely winning. So back to the live action. So Astavakra has been fighting back. We have another. Okay, I was going to say another French, but this is actually. So JohnStuckey's mixing it up with this b5 push. But he's opened up f7, and he's getting attacked again. Okay, he needs to kick that knight urgently, so we're back up to the live action. He doesn't kick the knight. I thought f6 kick the knight, but I guess f6 knight here is the problem. Takes and takes. So f6 was actually an issue. So did white miss that a move earlier? Here, here, and white still has this if he wanted it. But maybe his knight's nice there. So apparently black didn't have mate, I mean from what I saw, but Gingerbread Man says JohnStuckey cramping for fun, question mark. So the match goes on. 2 straight wins, and JohnStuckey's only ahead 5-3. Time to develop some pieces, JohnStuckey. So instead he's just building a wall in the center. Of course. So maybe here. Nope, no holding back, just going straight in. It's a nice move because f6 is pinned. So suddenly d6 is weak. I completely missed this. So yeah, Gingerbread Man says he dislikes being cramped. Yeah, so in a sense, JohnStuckey can be quite a fun player to play against because he gives you a lot of play, but he can also be a frustrating player to play against because he's hard to mate. There are annoying ideas here of pawn here, check, knight here. This is just so like, I want your queen, I want to put a queen on d6 and knight on c7. But okay, pawn here check was clearly decent and could have been played first even, I'd have thought. So queen here check. The idea is king would have to come here. Well, it can still be played, I guess. So pawn here check. The king could come here though as well. And then knight here. Okay, so this is actually a strong move because it supports a knight drop. So Astavakra is doing some nice things here. So he takes a rook. Where does he want to put the rook? He wants to put it on c8, but that square is defended. And here you see Astavakra just wants a knight for knight here, and the problem is that there's a lot of kingside pieces that JohnStuckey isn't using, so he's just not going to win this game. His only hope of winning this game is to get this open and find a mate on g2. And Lone Wolf was pointing out another idea which is annoying, which is taking here and putting a pawn on c7, threatening rook at d8 mate, which is also a very strong idea. Okay, so instead he's going queen for a rook. We could see a similar sort of idea, rook takes pawn, pawn takes, bishop takes pawn, then we know we're picking up a knight next. Instead we see this. So he wants queen takes knight, knight takes, knight here check, king here. I don't know, I mean, after queen takes knight, knight takes, what's the mate? Queen takes knight, knight takes, knight here check. The king is just sort of sliding away. So I'm not seeing it. He needs a pawn or something to mate. Okay, bishop here check is mate. Game over. And Astavakra finds it. Oh, gosh, I'm just. This is the problem with JohnStuckey. He always has that extra square to go to. Okay, well, get out of this one, JohnStuckey. I mean, yeah, what was wrong with king takes pawn? I don't know. So another queen lands after queen takes pawn. I can show on the. So you get two queens landing, but I didn't see all the way to mate. So Astavakra with 3 on the trot. So here, for example, what was the best move from white? Queen at c8. But instead this, queen. I was thinking queen takes d8. So it does queen takes d8 mate, and the point is if king takes, queen at c7, king here, and then promote d7 double checkmate. I'll just show it on the board. The king cannot sneak away because it's covered. Okay, so that's why you can't take with the king. So take with the knight. This is actually the line I was trying to calculate. And I was going to go knight at c7, but there's something better. It's get another pawn first, and then go pawn at d7. King takes d7, and again you don't put your queen on until the very last minute. It's kind of Crazyhouse rule of thumb. Keep your queen in hand for the last minute. So you don't go straight in as any normal human being would do with knight at c7, king here, queen at e8, king c8, at d7, king b7, rook b5, king here, king. Okay, so that's just getting mated. King here, rook takes b6, king here, and knight b5 checkmate. Okay, so that's what. So anyway, so there was a key move in the sequence, which was bishop takes pawn first, and then knight takes c7 works. But okay, so that's the first thing to say, is that queen takes knight was mating. Now, having done this, king takes d7 is still winning for white, but I mean he was probably afraid of this, but there's no obvious finish actually. So yeah, he should have just taken it. Whereas after this, it's just lost. So no way of getting out of that one. But okay, and the move that Lone Wolf was suggesting earlier was, of course, bishop takes pawn in this position. Very strong. Like, how are you getting out of this? Threatening rook here, checkmate. So, yeah, but Astavakra does find the win. And I like this because he stopped playing this sequence, which is clearly not working for him. And we're already up to the live action. So they've both spent over a minute thinking. So in this position, takes. He's not. Yep. Bishop here, pawn here. It looks like he's winning a pawn, and he's playing safe, choosing not to castle. So Gingerbread Man says, "Wow, comeback season and tough matches," says Bugday. Yeah, but also you can kind of get a feel for these matches. They're not quite. It's not like if you watched the match, for example, Fumitox against Cabbage against 64 Brock. It's like two absolute heavyweights, just like Whereas these ones, you can kind of get a feel of where things are going wrong, where they're going right, how things. You can get a kind of overall feeling of the game, and you have maybe even you might even sometimes know who's winning. Whereas in some of these games, you just don't. One often doesn't have a clue. So Lone Wolf, bishop takes f2, come on, not like this, that's called sack sitting. So who's going bishop takes f2? Black was going bishop takes f2. Yeah, that's not a good thing to do against JohnStuckey, I guess. Queen e4 is the suggestion. This is a nice move. Nice fork there. Pretty difficult to defend. At least queen e4 you could defend with the queen. Whereas this, how are you going to defend both the rook and the bishop? So I feel Astavakra is a great chess player. He's 2400 blitz. Is this winning for white? Well, so black's going for the material. Is his king safe enough to go for the material? That's the problem. I mean, they're annoying moves. Bishop here, pawn here. You could just go bishop here, pawn here, takes, and put another bishop here. Yeah, so this is definitely winning for white. Oh, no. What? Queen takes his check. Oops. Okay, so think other ideas. Maybe promote. Yeah, so this king here is clearly bad. Oh, there's no queen here. Okay, I'm just having said that I can see what was going on, I clearly can't see what was going on. But let's just tune in here. Yeah, I think so. This knight is just falling. Yeah, I feel like white is doing well here. But that's fairly obvious with this nice couple of moves. So did black have to do something else? Maybe like pawn here. Yeah, okay, black is getting crushed this game, that's clear, and on the clock. So probably just. Oh, he missed it. It's check. That is a bad miss. Is black suddenly okay? That is pretty bad. He just lost a full queen, and he's still not losing completely. Yeah, I think a free queen with check and white is still winning. That's how. But how to finish it? Queen here check, queen block, bishop here check. He has to move the knight to block, and then you take it. Easy, game over. That's a very pretty little thing. Yep. Oh, he's got a pawn to block with. Sorry, I missed this. How is this going on? How is this going on? Oh, that's all over now. Just double check, double take, yeah. And rook here, queen here, checkmate. So he's just taking. Yeah, I don't know if was there any. Yeah, no way he meant to hang queen with check. Yeah, so was there any point in this game when I'm going to now turn engine on? Was there any point in this game when white was actually in trouble? So obviously the sack on f2 wasn't wise, so I like this move, but takes, king f8, bishop here. Bishop here. So yeah, so it's actually quite strong. Everything's quite strong here. Rook d8, takes. So So he hangs the queen with check, and he's still completely winning. That's quite impressive. So yeah, obviously the finish here was just the forcing moves. King takes queen, and then we've got a rook, so we put a rook on the back rank, and if he steps up, then we go queen here and take anything. So he probably has to block with something, but he doesn't want to block bishop d8, because then you can do this, king takes d7, and apparently come in. So a pawn here will mate. If you come here, queen here will mate. They're probably easier moves, but no, at c6 is the only way to finish it cleanly. So that's a pretty neat little sequence. But okay, queen at d8 is giving up the queen potentially, and apparently you can do the same kind of idea. So here, check, and here. And again, if you take here, queen here is checkmate. And what else do you do? If you go, king can't come up. So if you go back, then you're losing the queen with check. And queen here is mate. Yeah, so there's nothing else you can do. So yeah, you can lose a whole queen with check, but he's still really doing nicely. Just to look at some of the other games. I want to just see that what Stockfish thinks of the opening. Just a lot of the games were played with this. That's not the one. No, not this one. A lot of the games followed this line here. Knight here, check, here, right. Knight d6, bishop takes d6, queen takes d6. And this very interesting move, knight d4, maybe it was prep. Bishop d3 is correct, at c7 is correct. So you can see, I guess no one's really played, there's only been played, it was played a couple of times in this match, but okay. And the correct move apparently is queen c5, but okay, this seems natural. d3, bishop here, moves the queen. And basically the white queen on a3 is a bit stuck, was the problem. So we saw here c3 tried once, knight c3 tried once, and in the game with knight c3 we saw bishop h4, knight takes c2, and I think that was a bit of a mistake, because this knight was nice here, and as knight takes c2, it was bringing the queen back into the game a little bit. But this was actually the game which white won, with b4, queen here, knight here. So it turned out to be okay. Yeah, so knight takes c2. Yeah, it was okay for white. Yeah, so it was a bit of a mistake for black to go knight takes c2 here. So, but then JohnStuckey responded with this. Yeah. Okay. Queen at c5 way too slow, says the lone wolf. Queen at c5. Oh, you mean? Okay, I'm not quite sure what you mean, but Queen c5 was the last Queen c5 we were talking about. So, but it's probably a long time ago. Oh yeah, Queen at c5. The Queen at c5 picking up either a bishop or a rook. Yeah, his king was in too much danger, so there was no way that was possible. The problem with this is just d6, and he's developing. So what JohnStuckey did made a lot of sense, but black ended up. And again, this you feel like you could just take it, but no, JohnStuckey's got good intuition going king f1, not taking it. So what was wrong with taking it? Queen takes. I'm just going rook here. Queen takes d3. Okay, yeah, I see. So quite a nice move there from Astavakra. And this particular game, pawn here check, bishop here check. Okay, so it was an interesting game, interesting series, and yeah, that was a nice finish to this game from Astavakra. Okay, so overall score 6 games to 4 to JohnStuckey. They play the full 10 games, and JohnStuckey proceeds to the next round. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to just update the challenge. If anyone wants to tell me who I should raid, do let me know. Also, someone was asking me something. how to stream. So how to stream, you need an app called OBS. I'm on a Mac, so it's like this. And the most important, you don't need that. You need something called display capture. That's what all you need, display capture. And you crop the display capture to the part of the screen you want to be on the stream. And you go into settings and you play around with those settings. But then you also need to set up an account on Twitch. And on Twitch they'll give you some kind of special code which you'll put into your settings, which will identify you uniquely. So that's the basic idea of how to stream, if you're still watching. So JohnStuckey takes it 6 games to 4, tight match, and goes on to face the winner of Maya and Midoikram in round 5. And the winner of that plays Sume. So that's what's happening next. And Ole Koshel is playing some bullet against Stuckey. And Bugday says, will I make a stream analysing viewer games? I've never done it for viewer games. I've done it for like someone's games, and I've done it on stream. So I've definitely done it before, and you can see some of the past examples. But it's always something I want to prepare quite a lot for. So it is quite time consuming. So the last time I did it was, if you check out one of my CWC streams is also called Anzarazar Training, and in that one I actually did some like detailed analysis. Knight here looks fun. Knight here looks very fun, but he doesn't play it, and gets mated. Oh, where's the mate? I can't believe I can't. He just needs a pawn. No. I thought there was a yeah. So yeah, and then all of basically, if you on my YouTube, there's I can't see the mate. There's a playlist called Instructional Crazyhouse Videos, and that's definitely where all the stuff will be. He's just going for the flag, so it's all very boring. And JohnStuckey doesn't want to be flagged, so he's going to win. Knight takes pawn. Knight mate, knight mate, knight mate. Please, knight mate. No, 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 no. You can't do this. No, 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 no. Come on. That was just ugly. Okay, so I'm going to stop streaming. This is if there's any such thing as an OK mate, this is the OK mate. It's the 2 knight mate, knight at f7, and knight at g5. You can't miss the OK mate. Okay. You don't need a queen to mate. You just need a couple of knights. Okay, so going all the way back here, there was a fun move, knight at f8, which would have been interesting. So the idea is if rook takes f8, knight takes, if the king goes to g8, you push him to h8, and then you have a double check, and oh, you have a rook in hand, so everything's very easy. And if knight f8 and he goes straight to g8 immediately, then I wasn't sure, but okay, so knight h6, I wasn't sure either way. It was just a fun looking idea. Knight d7. Knight d7 is pretty neat, so we just want to, if you take, we take back and take all the blockers. So that's going to be pretty powerful. Yeah, not sure. But apparently he just does this, and then we take this, and our king is safe. But okay, knight g5 was the nice mate, but instead both sides going for the flag, and that's what I don't like about Bullet Crazyhouse. And Andre says it's not okay to miss the OK mate. Yeah. And Gingerbread Man, thanks for streaming. Thanks for watching. And I'll put up the YouTube again. Yeah, do check out the stream for training stuff. Do check out the stream I did with Zarazar, where I actually went through her games in her penultimate CWC match. That's sort of an example of that. I also did in the instructional playlist. You'll see there's a series I did with Bakuz, who's a sort of 1500 Crazyhouse player. And then there are other stuff I did with with other Crazyhouse teammates, and there's even like a Crazyhouse 960 training, but I don't do it often because it is like many hours preparation on my part. But thanks for watching, and thanks Bugday for the interest. But yeah, I'd say check out the historical content. I don't need extra pressure. But yeah, it will definitely happen again sometime, and I can definitely keep you in mind. And we can do that one day, hopefully. Okay, thanks everyone for watching, and have a great weekend. And just a final reminder, tomorrow is we're going to have a lot of big matches, and Clearcast will be covering them, so do check out Clearcast's stream. And if you want to see all the upcoming matches, hopefully they're all in the sidebar of that blog. If you go to the blog, there's a sidebar with the calendar of all the upcoming matches. Okay, so thanks everyone for watching, and have a great weekend.